Well, hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Joanne. I am the landlord. Oops, I've got my sound on. That was not very good, was it? I hope you're all doing well. I know that the time is really odd. It is 6:01 where I live at the moment. So, yeah, look, I may be just talking to myself, and that's fine. You know, they say talking to yourself is the first sign of madness. The second sign of madness is responding. So we'll see how we go. Look, I cannot believe what's been going on these last few days since the Chrisley conviction. So Todd Chrisley, if you don't know, the Chrisleys got convicted. I don't know. I haven't watched, any of the YouTube lawyers to see what they think. But for my mind, if the prosecution is telling you that their key witness cannot be relied upon, that would give me enough doubt to be able to convict somebody. But that's just me. But obviously the jury thought otherwise, and that's their right. I have no doubt that the Chrysleys will appeal, as is their right as well. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think that anybody can be getting excited until after the appeal process has been done, because they may be able to get off on appeal. But, again, I don't know. But there has been some spiraling. There has been a bit of doxing going on, and we're just watching a spiral. I have a feeling, and I could be wrong, this is just my opinion, but she's been banned from doing live streams because of the comment about her drinking on live stream and making comments. Well, it would seem that same thing's happening on her Instagram and Twitter, and I won't be surprised if we start to see mass deletions, or if we start to see some retractions, or we start to see stuff, because I reckon there's going to be a few please explains. I know if she was my client, I'd be asking her, what on earth is she doing? So, and at the moment, she's so intent on seeking revenge on the world, she's not even streaming. So this is what was on her community tab. So let's just have a look. It says, "Hey everyone, I am sure you noticed the drop off from me after the Chrisley conviction. I apologize for not being here as normal. The past few years have been exhilarating watching this channel grow. I love the support and amazing supportive community we have. With Josh's sentencing, my stalker being arrested, and Todd Chrisley's harassment campaign against me ending with the conviction." Hang on a minute. His harassment campaign ending with conviction. He wasn't convicted for anything that he has allegedly done to her. He was convicted for what does tax fraud, and her harassment have to do with each other? Anyway, she says, and Todd Chrisley's harassment campaign against me ending with conviction. Hello, Robin. I'm overwhelmed, overloaded, and unable to process or work. Plan to Create says she's delusional. Hello, Robin. I just cannot get over that line. I just cannot get the past Todd Chrisley's harassment campaign against me ending with conviction. That's not what's happened. That's not what happened. Have I just missed something somewhere? I didn't realize that he was convicted. I didn't realize he was convicted for harassment. All right. Anyway. Yes, Robin, KJ. I have needed time to reflect and really need time to dissect how this whole experience has affected me. I think it should be affected me. But hey, I didn't bring it here because this channel isn't about me. It's about on what you love. I plan to make content today, but found myself lost inside the rabbit hole of thoughts I didn't let myself have while I was facing so much painful harassment. I've been emotional, sad, anxious, and then feeling so relieved. It's like reliving the trauma, but knowing it's over, and that's a big feeling. So I'll be back to regular content next week. I haven't done a live stream in a long time. I even debated doing one this week. I don't know. I think after her weekend of tweeting, I don't think her lawyers will let her. I will keep you posted. I have so much more work to do. I have a super excited project in the works, and I know that I know will rock all of your worlds. So hang tight. So there we go. I didn't realize that. I didn't actually realize that he was convicted for harassing KJ, but apparently that's what she's saying. But then, you can't let the truth stand in the way of good story, can you, hey? Let's face it, you can't. So, anyway, so let's have a look at her Twitter, because this will give you a bit of an idea as to the spiral. Now, I do know that there is doxing, so I'm going to take her off the screen once we get there. She's just... It's really interesting. So I'm in this. I'll show you this. This is really quite interesting. She must have a shadow ban or something. So on her Twitter. So I'm blocked, but I'm here in incognito, which is the only way I can get it. Age restriction, adult content. This content might not be appropriate for people, and it keeps having all this 18 restricted. Oh, thanks, Robin. It's actually my haircut that's growing out, so it's the same cut. I was thinking about getting a cut, but it's just all sticking out at the moment. So this has been. Look at all of this. Oops, it says see more tweets. I'm not. Look, 18-year-old. You'll need to log into Twitter to see this. So it's what's really interesting is that a lot of her stuff now comes age restricted. So this is June the 10th. I wish I understood internet terms. Oh, so anyway, we've got to go all the way down here to get to here. Now, if you remember, she filed a counterclaim against Chrisley where she stated that he was swatting her in the last few days. She's accused just about everybody else or everybody of doing it. So anyway. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Robin. So Nat got arrested last week. Nat was the person that was what the thing I have about Nat is that she's got this DID personality thing. On one hand, we're told she can't be believed because she lies, and yet she admitted to doing everything. Once she admitted to doing everything, she was to be believed. Now, she has been arrested in the UK and released on bail, and that investigation is still going. Now, it could be possible that she could be deemed unfit to stand trial or unfit to be charged, or I don't know what it's going to be, but I just get really annoyed how when she was using a different narrative to Katie, she couldn't be believed, but now she can be believed because she's allegedly admitted to it. Anyway, so she says Todd and Julie Chrisley found guilty on all charges. A jury in Atlanta found the couple guilty of tax evasion and fraud, so not harassment, KJ. Called DID. Apparently she's been, The couple defrauded over $30 million from banks and hid assets from They were both facing up to 30 years in jail. So the replies are age restricted. This is where today's guilty verdict of Todd and Julie is confirmation that WOACB has not and did not defame them. We reported on their case and the allegations surrounding the indictment. The criminal trial provided us key evidence that we will use in our civil case to end the lawsuit. The harassment I have experienced as a result of doing my job and reporting on court records is mind-boggling to me. The fact that so many refuse to look at the evidence but rode the hate train further proves to me that people will ignore the truth as long as they think I'm guilty. And then someone else has written, let's not gloat too much. Get a life. You seem pitiful making their life yours. So that's my concern. If Nat had said that she hadn't done it and was maintaining she hadn't done it, we would be told that she was lying. Then she calls out Charlotte and other creators against me to move on to new content. You all have the talent to make content. I'm not your enemy. Well, Katie Joy makes up a very small part of my content these days. Leading up to the trial, Todd Chrisley and I were in settlement negotiations. His lawyers drafted an apology letter where I was supposed to apologise to them for reporting on crimes they were convicted of. We refused and countersued for defamation. Glad I didn't apologise. There's no evidence of that in the court records. There's no evidence of that. Christie's aside, sorry for whatever happened in your life that makes you feel better about constantly dragging folks. You're a tabloid, not a journalist. Hope one day you heal and find a better way for your platform. I am confused. I thought defamation suit was against allegations his daughter made against extortion, sex tape, etc. So it was really about your commentary on charges, indictment of charges. How? That was public record. And then that's been deleted because she replied to my question and deleted her reply, then blocked me. So here's the hidden reply. I'm confused. So yeah. That was my question. Then she replied, deleted, then blocked me. I don't even know her. Recently found her channel, watched the couple, was liking it, so I asked the question. Not familiar with the backstory. Now just going to unsubscribe and find new channels to enjoy. She said those claims were in this trial literally. I didn't make up that story. She went on Dr. Phil, filed a police report, emailed the FBI, gave multiple depositions under oath about it. Stop. So you can't ask questions. And we get the warning because there's sensitive content. So she's been her Twitter account is deemed as sensitive. Todd Chrisley's trial addressed all the false claims he made against me about alleged extortion. The US attorneys provided emails from Lindsay Chrisley about the alleged extortion, where she asked for a protective order and called him a monster. Leading up to the trial, Todd Chrisley, and then she's got all of this narrative here. And then someone says, guess Todd has to sell his bedazzled laser collection now. Remember when Todd called me a trick? I never emailed Todd saying I was out of cash. This is fantasy. I didn't apologize to him for my non-defamatory reporting. Instead, I countersued him for defamation and harassment. The only problem is, Katie Joy, you actually never filed a defense. And then, of course, we're caters. All the claims Todd Chrisley brought against me in this lawsuit blew up in court. Lindsay Chrisley was cross-examined by the US attorneys. They put into evidence her emails to the FBI about her dad's alleged extortion. She changed her story on the stand. She got combative on the stand, argumentative and sarcastic. The judge scolded her. Even the jurors had an outburst because of her behaviour. The judge told Lindsay her testimony was helping no one. She gave multiple depositions, went on Dr. Phil, spoke to the FBI about it. She completely changed the story on the stand, which did not match anything she provided to the FBI. So she either lied to the FBI agents, Dr. Phil, multiple news outlets, and the police, or she lied on the stand. Either way, her testimony was clearly not believed by the jury. Why did she change it? Yeah. So, yeah, I thought it was multiple personality disorder. And usually I think multiple personality disorders, if they do get custodial, they go into they call them forensic patients now. She'll go into the forensic side of the prison if she got convicted. For anyone accusing me of gloating, I find no happiness in any crimes being committed. I have a right to be relieved that a person that has harassed, defamed, and lied about me convicted of his crimes. Period. You would be all rubbing it in my face if he was acquitted. No, I wouldn't be. It's okay, you can gloat, apparently. So, I don't think she should be gloating because he has a right to appeal. As I said, from my understanding of it, there is a good, I don't know. US Weekly is reporting that Todd and Julie Chrisley could face fines up to $60 million for their crimes. A former US attorney said fines generally double the loss amount. The Chrisleys are facing full forfeiture of assets, real property, and possessions. Todd Chrisley has filed frivolous lawsuits all over the United States to conceal, cover up, and silence anyone that could find out his fraud. WOACB is one of dozens upon dozens of people he targeted during his crime spree. While Todd's Chrisley fraud at Chrisley Asset Management came undone, at least 4 former employees sued him for sexual harassment and creating a hostile work environment. He settled both cases out of court. Will you settle the case out of court too, Katie Joy? I mean, hello. Todd Chrisley has attempted to sue the same banks he stole from. When he was nearing foreclosure, he tried to sue the bank too. He's lost homes to foreclosures in multiple states. Again, where's the evidence? Look, I'm not saying, between 1995 to 2015, Todd Chrisley was involved in at least 37 lawsuits or cases in Fulton County, Georgia. Between 1994, Todd Chrisley was named in 18 separate civil or common pleas cases in Anderson County, South Carolina. Well, between 2020 and 2022, Katie Joy has been how many lawsuits is she up to now? Anyway. And then we've got age restricted, and then there was something came up about Leslie Bass, so we've gone right around the whole Leslie Bass incident again. I'd like people to take off your blinders, and realize I don't come with agendas. I wanted to see what the take was. I appreciated people seeing the harassment campaign for what it was. My only hope is that people realize that I've moved on. I don't think so. Sorry, I forgot I was on camera. Sorry about that. All right. I've not done this for a while. Abuse of the legal system by filing frivolous lawsuits to shut up media should be illegal, but you're not media, Katie Joy. The truth about YouTube is that creators cater to what their audience wants to view. My audience love watching content about reality TV and cults. Some creators like to talk about me negatively and make money doing it. They lose money and an audience by ever squashing beef with me. Fun fact, the fact that anyone will watch this show after the trial astounds me. The Chrisley's attorney admitted that a lot of the show is totally fake and sizzled to create buzz for the show. There is nothing real about the Chrisley's show, in my opinion. This morning, I listened to podcasts Todd Chrisley made about me. In one podcast, he claimed I fabricated my entire friendship with his daughter. He said I made it up because I was obsessed with her and I never spoke to her, almost like what Nat did to me. Hello, short order cook. Hello. Is that KJ saying she doesn't come with agendas? Yes, Robin. While I never met his daughter, there definitely was a lot of communication, so I don't know why he'd lie about something so easily proven. Well, if you want to prove it, hand over your texts. He made references for about a year about how he wanted to access all of my communication with Lindsay. Then said this spring that I never spoke to her, but in discovery for the lawsuit wants communication. What is it, Todd? I'm so perplexed. Well, I never met. Yeah, so we've got that one. Um, in August 2021, Todd Chrisley accused my husband and I of being neo-Nazis based on an article and video he said he received from somebody. Then he said he was going to effectively destroy my career by telling everyone I was a neo-Nazi. Another defamatory claim he made. There's proof that supports Chrisley's accusation on both of you, so I don't see the defamatory claim that you're saying. If you remember rightly, I think it's to do with, yeah, so someone's saying there's the proof. Evidence admitted into Todd Chrisley's criminal trial showed that Lindsay Chrisley contacted the FBI about her dad threatening about a tape. She asked for a protective order. The lawsuit against me claims I fabricated a lie about an alleged extortion attempt by Todd Chrisley against his daughter, a topic that Lindsay spoke about on Dr. Phil, reported to police, the FBI, and gave multiple interviews on. His lawsuit never had any merit. Did the judge rule on your case? Did I miss that? Or is it still an open case in court that you are discussing? Because, girl, she shouldn't be opening her mouth. If I was Mr. Chrisley, I would be filing for an injunction. I'd be filing for an injunction to get her to shut up. Myself, I'd be getting for an urgent injunction. So now she's saying about Tina, a creator, that she took a restraining order out, but they settled. Someone's not supposed to talk about. She knows that and has been advised that if she comes back to the anti-KJ world by encouraging or participating in harassment, I would refile. She can't fight the RO either if this happens. I wouldn't waste any more time and energy. So bizarre. Tina, nor anyone else for that fact, can do whatever they like. You should advise Crossy that she's still in current lawsuits and should be shutting her mouth. After all, that's why she's in legal troubles that she's in right now. So her threats are useless. So, sure, all the cooks. I'm not sure it's medically, but I don't know. So now she's saying, former US attorney Brett Tolman believes the Chrisleys will receive a sentence of 168 months for crimes due to the amount of fraud. $30 million is a large aggravating. I see why you have followed it. Yeah, but and you will also see why Katie Joy doesn't like her. So, just spoke to somebody familiar with Todd Chrisley's criminal case. We're still on June the 10th, people. The source says the IRS will be seizing all of their property with the conviction. Todd and Julie Chrisley will not have much left after this happens, meaning Todd won't have money for his civil lawsuits. And someone's replied, neither will you. Don't celebrate too soon, KJ. You can bet that Sassy and Chase can fund Todd's lawsuit against you, and they will. You are despised by all. How is she so hated by all? These people, Chrisley's dug a roll off, live in the public eye. Every major gossip column does exactly what she does. Absolutely zero sympathy for any reality star. We get it. We all get the gloating is not a good look. Do you like it when people kick you when you are down? Have some empathy and be a better person. You are just as vile as McLobster and his whatever. Get some self-reflection. Become somebody your son can be proud of. Hello, BJGW says, I like a good dumpster fire, but this is something else. Hey, we haven't even got to the good stuff yet. We're still. Todd Chrisley sued people all over the country while he was under indictment. As I have stated repeatedly, and he stated repeatedly, he was after my communication with his daughter, who was a witness in his case. Case over. Is this for real? The case is. I'll check. We'll check the case file. In the spirit of wanting to get this poo off my chest, I'm in the process of making a video about Todd Chrisley's lawsuit and how he used the anti-KJ community to harass and start a class action lawsuit against me. Stay tuned. Yes, she's done videos on this. She has just given Chris Lee more ammunition, in my opinion. Tina did not sign an NDA. There was no NDA. The agreement was that I would drop the TRO and she would leave me alone, which included not engaging in this community. Her attorney spoke to her before we dropped the TRO. I would never have dropped it without this agreement. So there's no signed agreement. Hello? She agreed through her attorney along with it to leave me alone. No talk about me, no engaging in harassment in any. They did engage. If it's not in writing, no. Sorry. Why wouldn't you get something like that in writing and signed? I'm sorry. I don't believe it. Then she's trying to talk to as when someone says that they are the most astronomical and honest person on the internet, that is code for lying troll that sinks for cash. Ooh, that's what she does. Doesn't she say that she's an honest person? Doesn't lie. Right, some more stuff on Leslie Bass. Please explain why people are mad at you. How many times are you going to run your mouth about how I hurt your feelings 3 years ago? Isn't 3 years of obsessing over me long enough? I'm starting to think you are in love with me by how hard you want my attention. Stop whining and grow a pair, you simp. Isn't she still going on about things that have been happening allegedly 3 years ago? Age-restricted adult content. Really interesting, isn't it? All right. I love that Caters think that apparently now her haters are called Caters, that I think that I burnt every bridge on YouTube because I'm toxic. The Caters harass any creator that sticks up for me or speaks to me. Some of these creators, influencers, get so overwhelmed by the harassment they bend to the bullies. The Caters also say I have no friends and my family won't speak to me because I'm toxic. So because my husband's estranged niece, who I've met maybe 5 times, doesn't like us, our family doesn't speak to us. My hubby's family was like that before I met him. No, nothing like putting out your dirty laundry, hey? If you do a different story to the FBI and then to the jury, one of these stories is not true. She's either lying to the FBI or perjury. Neither of these which would ever be charged with anyway. The point is her testimony didn't match the evidence submitted at trial, so now she's saying that Lindsay's a liar. The Caters will die on the sword that somehow created the story about the sex tape and the Grizzlies when the FBI literally presented emails and evidence about the alleged tape. There was a damn police report. You all need serious help. What about Dr. Phil? Didn't think Dr. Phil was a real doctor, according to you. The police report was also added as evidence in the civil case against Joshua Waits. The copy of the report is filed as Exhibit 9, and she's given the information of how to get it. Who cares? She's really, and again, we did not trust her. She promised she would never go back to hate campaign against me. She deleted all her videos, uploaded. Is this the? Yeah. So now she's going after another creator, who she doxed, and I'll be skipping those threads. Because I'm not going to talk about those. But yeah, she's actually outed somebody's. She's actually doxed somebody and showed pictures of her and her husband, and essentially has alleged that the husband's a criminal, which I think is disgusting. Chris Lee then used the information on his national podcast where he claimed I was lying about my son's health. He implied I defrauded Medicaid, and the anti-KJ world erupted in their harassment with me, including Natalie Kennett. Numerous false reports were made to the CPS by numerous people, including Natalie Kennett and others. Cops were called to house. Harassment peaked in the fall of 2021, filed his lawsuit against me. I was swatted at least 3 times. Hang on a minute. I thought she was swatted before then. I can't keep up with these stories. So this is about her alleged TROs. In my opinion, they were frivolous anyways. Now she's talking about a person called Sassy, who she doxed. She put the pictures of her husband up. She says, I'd like to apologise for my earlier tweets. The past 2 weeks have been overwhelming and I've been reliving a lot of trauma. I've not been able to work since the conviction because I feel a huge sense of relief that finally some of this chaos is ending. It's only just begun. The amount of traumatic experiences I've lived through as a result of multiple people working together this fall really has made it hard for me to trust anyone. But I do ask those that recognise who the problematic people that you also please cut me a little slack. I sometimes feel I'm in a no-win situation because of how many of these people have brainwashed people about me. It's like any wrong step I make, I'm told how bad I am. I am human. Not allowing space for people to be human is half the problem with this whole subculture. Yeah, it's been trauma for 3 years. The past few days, it's been hard to process it all. So, Robin, you are correct. And in fact, I think Sassy's gone off Twitter. She's deleted all the videos off her channel, and she's taking a media break. The swatting added to what trouble she's in at the time. All these incidents happened around the Nat Tardy. Going on, I need to hear your cheerful voice. I just woke up from a nightmare. I think it's KJ. Fell asleep listening about what she's been doing. Hey, Terry C. Yes, I think the swatting was before Chrisley came into it. I just got an email that somebody. You're all. Why is she going into the or you're? I just got an email that someone that has harassed me through the anti-KJ world has a husband that is on parole for domestic violence, stalking, and terroristic threats. A person that has sat on a throne criticizing me for over a year. And then she goes, so this is where she's going to out Sassy. So this is I'm not going to talk about the allegations. All right. What's swatting? So swatting's where you call the police to come, and they come apparently, allegedly, they come with their guns, and they come up with they believe that there's a real threat. Who knows what danger she has put Sassy in? I hope she goes to the police too. I actually said that in Australia it would be classed as assault with intent and malice. Because assault doesn't have to be physical. Battery is physical. Assault can be emotional under tort law. So it would be assault with malice and intent. Because she has intentionally set about to harm Sassy. How does she have the time? I don't know. I'm going to apologise for my early apology. I'm going to be unapologetically me, which means after not fighting back, I'm going to call the idiots that sided with Todd Chrisley. A felon that stole $30 million. He incited you, and I was swatted, harassed, and my kid was harassed. Do not mess with my kid. Don't do it. His diagnosis is not a debate or a question. Do not bully a child with autism that is the sweetest kid. Chrisley incited you to take him away from a loving home, and you took the bait. Shame on you. Don't mess with my kid. I thought, and then someone says, I thought you said your son wasn't autistic. So that's an article from 2017 where she talked about that where he doesn't have autism. Katie, what you did is exactly what everyone expected of you. It's what you do all the time. It's not a one-off. I've never condoned I don't talk about her son other than in a positive light. I don't believe in any of that. I don't believe in doxing. I'm just really shocked that she obviously really believes that she's untouchable at the moment. Any of you that believe Natalie Kennett and encouraged her behaviour, all of you as bad as for her. She created CP, my child, and you egged her on. As long as she came for me, you were for it. Some of you helped her and should rot for that. I will never unsee the images she created of my son, that she emailed to me with graphic threats of how she would and murder him in front of me. You all know who Natalie is. That's her. I have thousands and thousands of threats, and you all egged her on. Why then on Kay's stream were you buddy-buddy with her? And then that's put on there. So as I said, as soon as Nat admitted that it was her, it was all good. But up until that point, she was a liar. And for me, I say let the law enforcement do their job. Don't interrupt it. The irony is when I expose someone who was stalked and harassed me, I'm accused of hurting someone. When the same people dig into my life, publish my R report, have my husband mass reported to CPS over doctored audio in a video, they aren't hurting anyone. I don't believe it was doctored. I believed it was enhanced. There's a difference. Hello, Dan. How are you? I love it. It says, including that may be offensive. I'm curious. Who swatted you? Was it Nat or TC? I thought you blamed someone else while you were exploiting, covering the Petito Laundries case. Or was it the anti-KJs? I'm so confused. That is the question. Who is it? And this is why Chrisley's lawyers should be onto this. I mean, I'd be there first thing Monday morning, as I said, with an injunction to shut her up. I don't know what it is in Australia, what it is in the US, but in Australia you would file for an urgent injunction, which means the court would order that they shut up. My biggest problem with the anti-KJ community is their harassment of my followers. It's not okay to intimidate viewers for not liking somebody. It's not okay to threaten or bully other creators or influencers into not working with me. What you're all doing is 100% not okay. I don't like how she says all, because not everybody is doing it. And I really object to being I'm not part of the anti-KJ community. I'm happy to call out people for bad behaviour, and this is bad behaviour. This is horrible behaviour. Calling out Sassy for harassment, threats, intimidation, and borderline illegal conduct is my right. I'm tired of her trying to harm my family and my subscribers. How's she been doing that? You don't have to like me. I draw the line at what Sassy was doing to me. You laugh, but that my Twitter gets no engagement. It's because of all of you harassing, bullying, and threatening anyone that dares to support me. So many of my non-public followers have been doxxed by you all. Calling out Sassy, a woman with a public platform, is not the same. You don't have to like me, but leave my followers alone. They don't want messages from you, and they're tired of the threats you get from you all, and they're tired of being harassed by you. I will always stand up for my followers and subs. Girl, Katie Joy, who's messing with your followers? Who? No one cares about them. You are truly trying to get your followers to attack people you speak about. When will you learn? Have tried to like you, but you're crazy. Hello. Yeah. So, Dan, welcome to the roller coaster. Oh, dear. Now she's called out Llama Girl. Seriously, Llama Girl. Llama Girl has gone out of her way to post comments from my family. My parents and brothers are not public figures, and there's no need to follow them. They're not part of my channel. Llama has contacted my sponsors. She's arrested my followers and doxed my family. Not okay. Katie, you do that to people too. No heat, no judgment from me. I just want you to recognize how it feels. You're becoming more known, and there's a lot of people out there that don't understand or respect boundaries. But if you do it, they're going to use it against you. Now, someone else has said WOACB versus WOACB, a great source for all of KJ's hypocrisy. Remember how I cried last night and said we have no one? Well, now we have no family. You all had one job parents. My night was ruined. A dinner to celebrate 9 years of marriage. We gave my parents one task, to leave the dog outside. Instead, they let her in, and she barked at them and terrified my son, then blamed me for having a dog that barks at them. That she posted that, allegedly. That's an old tweet. Well, that's right. I want to know where's the proof. Hello, Dan. Thank you for the super chat. We're just Now, also, the answer is no to all of you that have asked for an interview. There is one creator that I respect in this world, and I'm not doing any interviews. Several people have asked for interviews. I know how you all work. It's a trap. It's a trap! And I don't fall into them anymore. So that is manic tweeting. Just another manic tweet. Oh, that's just Twitter. That's just Twitter. And I have cut out a lot of that. I cut out a lot of the doxing stuff. But Instagram is going to be worse. Yeah. So I just don't understand. I bet it's uncivil law. I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. That's some paranoia right there. You're right, BJGW. Paranoia. Yep. Some paranoia. Yeah, but she's she's fine. So I'm just going to quickly show you her Instagram. As I said, there'll be some I'll be cutting out because there's certain ones I'm not going to show. But look, we've got all of this. All of this goes with all of her manic tweets. I think that's the first one there. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. There's 27 Instagram posts since Friday night. She hasn't posted on the weekend, so let's have a look at this. So what Todd Chrisley said, so we've listened to the podcast. I've repeatedly said that he was after information I had on his daughter Lindsay. He wanted all of my communication. I was not lying when I said he wanted information from me about her because of her involvement in his trial. I said she was a witness. She testified. I knew in the fall that she was a witness. I said nothing. Then I was threatened with a lawsuit by her for saying she was a witness and other truthful statements I made. But you never pled the truth defense. You can't. You didn't put a defense in. You need to have said that it was. Anyway. You tried to hide under journalistic privilege, which I don't think you can get, and then said, and by saying the comments aren't defamatory, isn't a defense. Anyway. Both Lindsay and Todd wanted me to apologize for them for statements they made publicly. Whoops. Sorry. Let me just get this up. That I published under advice of my legal team. I did not settle because the apology was not truthful or remotely accurate. Todd Chrisley launched a campaign against me, which involved multiple YouTubers and trolls who harassed me. I was threatened into silence or face a lawsuit. Well, I didn't bend. I won't bend. I never lie. I have all the receipts to prove it. I saved every text, email, and message. We have dozens of clips like this of his threats to me, his lies about me, his tweets directed at me, but he's finally convicted. Lindsay turned back on everything she previously said once he sued me. I'll never know why, but her testimony in court was not supported by any evidence from the FBI, depositions, police reports, and her own interviews on Dr. Phil, Entertainment Tonight, and numerous news outlets. What hurts more than anything is I truly cared about Lindsay. I saw the good in her. I realize now that I never knew her at all. The person I thought I knew, I don't believe exists. So there you go. Hello, Cal. How are you? Welcome to the Spiral. As I said, she thinks it's now automatically over. And then she's put this, so now she's taken her Twitter here. So again, she says, I have the right to be relieved. The person that has harassed, defamed, and lied about me was convicted of his crimes. But he wasn't charged There was no charge over harassment, defamation, or lying. He wasn't convicted of those crimes. I thought she was a journalist, because that is not, you know. She's got her supporters thinking that what he has allegedly done to her is what he's gone to jail. That's what she's saying. That he has gone to jail for harassment, defamation, and lying about her. Yeah, I get that feeling. I think she thinks she's off the hook. We'll go check the court filings in a minute. But as I said, I'd be filing. Who wants to tell her that defamation isn't a criminal offence? Who wants to tell her about what happened in court? I'm not the criminal here. Yes. Didn't Lindsay tell her stop as new evidence had come to light and it wasn't Todd and she still went on? Yes, it was. Yes, there was new evidence. Remember, didn't Katie Joyce say that you can change your opinion if you have new evidence? Lindsay Chrisley's taken a break from her podcast. She's deeply saddened by the verdict, and the verdict is not what she wanted. That's somebody from their community. Justice for her community now. A scammer. It's her community. I've been going through the Chrisley Confessions podcasts for months. Todd Chrisley spoke about me. I think it was like 3 podcasts, wasn't it? Wasn't months. He accused me of a variety of crimes, among other slanderous statements. For at least a year, I believe he's accused my husband and I of being racist. He's provided evidence from a subreddit and trolls on Twitter, who he's thanked many times for their help. Not once has he ever found a single statement that I've ever made that is racist, nor has he ever found an actual factual proof that my husband is racist. Well, I mean, giving 4 stars to Mein Kampf, I don't know, would be questionable behaviour, and the record label he was signed with was known to have, it's to do with the label he signed with and what their history was. His belief that my husband is racist is because my husband, whose ancestors are Swedish and Norwegian, is interested in learning about the old Nordic language and their ruins. Ruins are the runic alphabet of the German Nordic speaking people. Old Norse language and traditions have been an interest of my husband for as long as I've known him. He has spent years about learning about the Vikings, Crusades, and European history as he explores his ancestral roots. Trolls online believe that because Nazi groups have modified and changed ruins to use them as symbols, this makes my husband a racist. One aspect of our lives is that extremely important is learning about the past failures, crimes of our ancestors and not repeating those actions. This also has meant we've learned about the Holocaust, Nazi Germany, and Hitler. My mum is 100% German. This means my ancestry is tied to a part of history that is horrific for the world. Neither my husband nor I condone anti-Semitism or racism in any capacity. In fact, I've been a loud voice for equality and acceptance of all people, which I will always use my voice for others to speak out when I can. Todd Chrisley has never found a single racist statement that I've made, but recklessly called me racist on his podcast. Racism deserves no place in society. This kind of slander by the Chrisleys is an example of hours of lies they've spoken about me on the podcast. Oh dear. Back in April, so don't forget she's talking about years, but this is April, Julie and Todd Chrisley came from my parenting. They questioned my son's diagnosis, equality and acceptance for all people. She must have copied and pasted that from somewhere. This short article. In a follow-up podcast next week, they said they did not speak about my child. They didn't talk about him, but that it was about my parenting. When you go on a large podcast like this and literally question my medical status and disability, you are coming for him, period. Saying I'm lying about him implies that he's not living with disabilities, which is putting false out about the world. He said I took it out of context, so here's the full context. I didn't take anything out of context. Huh? Right. Podcast One allowed this to be on their network, A Threat to Me by Todd Chrisley, one of the many he made on his podcast. All right. Todd Chrisley is involved in numerous civil lawsuits now. Due to the conviction, the IRS will be seizing property and assets due to the forfeiture allegations. Todd has already said he plans to appeal. He has spending limits set by the court due to the pending seizure. Now, my understanding is that there are some exemptions to those spending limits, and one of those will be for legal fees, because he had you have a right to appeal. They can't stop him. And I think the other thing was another one that didn't have limits was parenting stuff for their children. I had a very quick look at the exemptions, but so she's wrong if she thinks he's going to have to ask for legal fees. I came for truth, not to take sides. Then she says total rational behavior. I don't believe that this is defamatory. I believe this is a gathering of evidence. So what happens is, if, for example, they get to damages, Todd Chrisley would would want to show that it was behaviour that it was standard behaviour. So I don't think that this is. I don't know how that can be defamatory or that can be harassment, because this sort of only comes up when you talk about damages and past behaviour. So if Chrisley was to win and they'd say, look, she has a history of this, she had a lawsuit with the Tardy lawsuit could come up to say that she'd made defamatory statements and settled and this and that, and then say this is the behaviour that she has on Twitter, this is the behaviour on Instagram, she's got this problematic behaviour. That's when this is required, and this is what they're gathering the evidence for. They want to show that there is a history or a pattern. Todd Chrisley and the anti-KJ community tried to ruin my life because he wanted my communication with his daughter, who was a witness in his case. He wanted evidence to help his criminal trial. Please join me now on YouTube. Chat is open. Link is in bio. If he wins, she'll be paying his... yes, that's correct. She'll order cook. And now this is a whole thing on Lindsay. We don't know. She said there was no tape and that her dad wasn't involved. No matter what way you slice it, Lindsay lied to someone. Her credibility is toast. Sadly, people have realised she lied. She built her platform on honesty and humility with her podcasts and Christian persona. We don't know why she lied or acted so inappropriate at the trial, but why lie? I don't get it. What's the statement? So Todd and Julie Chrisley's fraud was so severe that a loan they received from a bank caused the FDIC to investigate them and the bank. Get this, Julie Chrisley's mum, Pamela Hughes, was the vice president of the bank that approved huge loans to Todd and Julie. One loan was for $10 million on a property that he already had an $8 million loan on. Pamela Hughes and the board members were sued by the FDIC for gross negligence for approving loans with little oversight and verification. The bank lost over $70 million for their failure. Not only, but after 5 years of taking out the loan, Todd and Julie only paid back $6,500, according to the report by Radar Unlight. This rabbit hole is deep. Another one. Yesterday, WA received a tip that a bank that was a victim of the Chrisleys fraud actually closed, and 2 vice presidents went to jail as a result of approving these loans. Atlanta-based Integrity Bank, where Julie Chrisley's mum, Pamela Hughes, worked, had a history of approving loans to big spenders like the Chrisleys. The Chrisleys were one of several borrowers that were approved for huge loans outside standards by the FDIC. The FDIC investigated the bank related to the $10 million loan Integrity approved on the Chrisley's property. They already had an $8 million loan. The FDIC found alleged that the bank approved loans without proper verification. So it goes on and on and on and on and on. If you're found guilty, how do people and firms feel eligible for compensation after the... I don't know. And it says that the threat sentence to prison and the bank closed. So, right. Now we've got FDIC lawsuit against the bank that loaned the Chrisleys $10 million. So that's a complaint. So apparently the Chrisleys loan was secured by 2 properties valued at $17 million. Okay. Now we're into some evidence from the criminal trial revolved around the incident between Todd Chrisley and his oldest daughter. I don't really want to talk about that because I don't want that on there. In 2019, Lindsay told Dr. Phil that her dad would come after any time an article was published about them in the media. Again, I don't really want to show that. You can go to our Instagram. All right. Now she's apparently losing a loved one. She wants to save people from cults. All right. For 25 years, family members have been silenced out of fear. So this is about the Shekinah Church, I think. So this is 7M. She's tagged 7M down here. 7M. Please send a DM or email to her tips line, and we can break the wall of silence for good. So she wants people's stories so she can monetize them and make money off them. All right, so I'm not going to do that one, and I'm not going to do that one. That was the docs. So those 2 photos was the docs of the person and the person's husband. So one she titled Deadbeat Dad, and the other one she used the full name. So best way to start morning with a photo of Todd Chrisley with an ankle monitor on at his house. Look, he can leave the house. Look, he can appeal it. So that's the thing. Cal, he can appeal it. WRICB has been going through the IBLP archives and found this video of Austin Forsyth. So now we're back onto the Duggars, who are now just normal citizens. They don't have a TV show. I've received hundreds of emails and messages from all of you about the harassment you get for following me. I want to tell you that I'm sorry. I should have stuck up for you all sooner. Too many of you have been threatened, doxxed, harassed for simply enjoying my content. None of that should happen. If you continue to receive any threats, harassment from anyone on social media, please make sure to report the comments, block the user, and document the interaction. I ask all my followers not to engage in harassment of other creators. I don't need or want anyone fighting on my behalf. No creator should be trying to interfere in the business of another creator by harassing their followers. Make sure you protect yourselves online as always. I'm so grateful for all of you that keep me going, watch my content show up every day, and make this community what it is, an amazing place. Let's all remember that harassment is not okay ever. So now she's calling all IBLP subscribers survivors. So she's on another mission. My goal is to not put out any victim story. I do not expect any survivors to provide me any details if they're a victim. Since there hasn't been anyone that has tackled this group for SA, my goal is to compile a list that can be referenced, much like lists for other churches. Isn't that what Preacher Boy does? Preacher Boy does that, doesn't he? He's got a list of, people that have been accused and convicted and stuff like that. So anyway, I think that's all the Instagram posts. So what do you reckon about this spiral? It would be a lot easier if she just did a live and spiraled out and so spiraled out of control, so that you could get it all, so we could watch it all. But we get to watch it all unfold, and with Twitter and all of that. So what do you reckon? I mean, I think the Twitter is the worst, in my opinion. Twitter's where it's the worst. But yeah, what I'm going to check now. Let's have a look at the Minnesota court. I mean, it's a weekend there. I want to see if something was filed late Friday night, just to make sure, because as far as I'm concerned, I would not be bragging about anything. I would not have been talking about Chrisley until the actual case was dismissed. And that's what her lawyers should be telling her. Her lawyers should be telling her to shush. So let's have a look. Okay, so we've got a hearing for the 20th of the 7th at 1:30 p.m. So it's just that order that proposed, the only document that's been done is still the proposed dates for discovery and everything. So there's been no changes. So it's not been dropped at this stage. I can't see that it's been dropped. There's no urgent hearing. The next hearing's on the 20th of July. So let's look at 7M, because 7M we're waiting for a verdict. We're waiting, so it's still taken under advisement. So the judge is her honor still deciding what to do with that. I'll be back just having dinner. That's okay, plan to create. So there's nothing there either. So so that's been decided upon at the moment. So there's nothing new there. So there's nothing to state that it's been thrown out, or there's nothing to state that she's won, or it's still an active case, and she should not be talking about active cases, in my opinion. So it's really hard. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Terry. There was a There was a comment that was held for review because I've come on. I don't have my mods with me, so I've just had to let that one through. That's cool. Look, hurt feelings is a bit of a thing at the moment. So you say something that I don't like, I'm going to sue you for defamation. That seems to be the world that we're coming into, and it's really not great. So. It's similar, but not so 2 years. Yeah, well, we don't have the rights we don't have freedom under the Constitution. So our rights come from mainly civil common law. So, and I did put subscriber mode on because the last few times I've been on, we've had bots. So I thought if I'd at least put subscriber mode on, I'd at least try and keep the bots out. Plus, it would make sure that everybody here was a subscriber because why wouldn't you want to be a subscriber? And if you're watching this on replay and you're not a subscriber, make sure you hit the like and make sure you hit the subscribe button for me. Yeah, there's not much else I've got to say, really, other than the fact that we're watching a spiral. Because for whatever reason, she can't post live. It's all going out on Twitter and Instagram. I mean, doxing somebody's, doxing somebody's husband. And the thing is, she talks about the fact that, her husband's not a public figure or her son's not a public figure, but it's okay for her to post pictures of somebody's husband because that person said something that they didn't like, and state that I just find it to be despicable myself. I just find it to be despicable. You cannot, and she's gone and got. I know you're not a bot. I know you're a sub. You're a member, Cal. That's simple. That's. I mean, and then to call the husband a deadbeat dad is and to name them is pretty bad. So I didn't show you those because I'm not going to show those. But it was sassy. And the interesting thing was, this has come about because Sassy was talking about the fact she was working on each of the allegations that 7M had made in their lawsuit, and she was going to put the proof that Katie Joy had said those exact things. And it's just so happened that she's working through the video and suddenly she gets doxxed and harassed. I just find that to be, to be very, very interesting. I don't know when I'll be back online. I've got an exam Monday and an exam on Wednesday, but I do have 48 hours to complete it, but my goal is to try to do them on both of those days. But it looks like if I get a chance, I will definitely be posting earlier. And I've got another video to upload. I've done a little bit of filming today. There's already one that's up about the defamation laws in Australia and the unmasking of PR guy 17. I really am not cool on that, and I can't believe that Twitter rolled over with that and agreed to that. But that's what, and anonymity is going to be something that's not going to be, that won't help us at all, I don't think. They're going to really go after that. So they can't be public figures without hurt feelings. Well, see, this is my issue. This is my issue. My issue is they can hide behind parliamentary privilege because they can say whatever they like about anybody and they can be protected by parliamentary privilege. What they say cannot be challenged. But if you challenge them, they'll sue you for defamation, despite the fact and this is really what the essence of the Friendly Geordies thing was. How do I know? Because usually they're spam bots. You'll know they just spam. You just get these bots in, or people. Robin, they'll ask you whether you want a good time with something big. I've had that. I've had a few people join with some really interesting names. I've had JFK join. Telling me that size does matter, that type of stuff. So yeah. I did have some fun. We have had some fun with bots, but I just thought I'd keep them out. Well, anyway, JFK. Yes, they short order cook was here. JFK was funny. It was. Yeah. JFK was funny. Oh dear me. Oh, they were the days. Those were the days short order cook. So you have a famous bot. I do have a famous bot. Yes. Didn't he have big appendage too? I think short order cook, if I remember. Yeah. But yeah, so I think that's a lot of that's a lot of the issues I think with the defamation law. And I mean the guy that Peter Dutton's suing, and I know people don't like him, but he actually was his comment came from a comment another politician had used. They deleted it. He linked it to an article, and even though a politician had said the politician could refer to Dutton as an R apologist, but because this person repeated what this politician had said, he got sued for defamation, which I don't think is fair. Short Order Cook says, yeah, and he thought he was scaring us until he finally joined in. We laughed so much that night. We did. We had some fun with him, JFK. Then eventually we let him, we gave him the flick. Oh dear. So anyway, yeah, so we've had some fun, but I just thought tonight I'd try, they'd have to be a subscriber for at least 5 minutes now before before they come in, if they want to come in. So. Oh, and for those of you that are overseas, we're following that case of that. I would have liked that the fun, not big appendage. I know that last year I was talking about the Laylo family and how they couldn't get, they were looking to be deported. Well, we've had a change of government, and after 4 years, they've actually returned to their hometown. They've got bridging. They've all been granted a bridging visa at the moment while their case goes through a court. But there was a big party for them in the hometown that has offered to support them. This is the thing. This community had offered the father a job. They offered to support the family. They weren't going to be a burden to the community, and the government said no. If you've got a community that wants to embrace people and want to look after them, how can you turn them down? So it says a 4-year immigration battle are back at home in their central Queensland town, ending a community-driven campaign for their return. The community has been dealing with the government. The community have helped pay their legal fees. The community has been very proactive. They were greeted with loud cheers. They waved and blew kisses to the crowd, chanted "wept" as they danced and as they disembarked the plane. Me and my family are happy to start back in our community of Bilo. They're so excited about starting a new life. And so this was welcome home. Welcome home, we missed you. And there's been so many tears. Everyone's crying, cheering, and it's been a weekend of celebrations. One of the girls had her birthday, she's 5 years old, born in Australia. She had her first birthday free today. She's had her first birthday out of Sunday is Thani's 5th birthday, her first birthday out of detention. And they're going to, and the locals are going to have a big birthday party in the park for her. A 5-year-old who's been locked away. I remember that, so they're not technically Australian. They can't claim their residency, even though they were born in Australia, until they're 10 years old under Australian law. So technically they're still aliens. They're under their parents.
Me and my family is very happy. I again start my journey, back to my community below. 4.5 years travel in my community friends. Make my strong love everything of my community and Australian people, my family helping. Thank you to all in below community wonderful friends. I starting new life. I joined in my family. So happy. Thank you.
So yeah, short order, her first birthday out of detention. So the community has really embraced it. So she was going to have a big birthday party. So this is so this was look at this for a party. So, and again, the community has done this, not the government. You know, it's the community. The community wanted them. She celebrates her first birthday out of detention with a pink themed party and koala cake. Look at that. She has celebrated every birthday in immigration detention. Now at 5, she is free. On a chilly Sunday morning, 3 dozen family friends braved the cold. The Lions Park to celebrate Thanika's 5th birthday, her first ever out of detention. Her special request, the theme for her party was pink and had to feature a koala cake. Loved ones gathered round, singing happy birthday, and her sister wore a pink dress. So last year, she was forced to spend her birthday in the Perth Children's Hospital, where she was being treated for sepsis due to pneumonia. That was also semi out of the. They gave a cake. They include the 7-year-old as well, because she spent more than half of her birthdays in detentions. We had a lovely big slab cake for both the girls because we missed 4 years of birthday. So they were making up for all the birthdays they missed. So the koala cake was for Thanika, and then the big one was for both of the girls. But it's taken them 4 years. So birthday girl arrived in her pink outfit. So Anne Smith, a local teacher, helped organise the party. This is the kids' first time experiencing a true Aussie birthday party. We've gone out today to make it special. The community support has been overwhelming. I went to the bakery today to collect the cake, and I think all of the community was there. There's a sense of happiness that they're home. I love Priya spoke yesterday. Now that she's home, she just wants to serve the community, and that's what they both were like before they were snatched away. They did so much community work. So in March 2018, the federal government attempted to deport them, and then an 11th hour court injunction held the four at Christmas Island for 2 years. Then they were moved to community detention before the new elected government intervened and gave them bridging visas. And it looks like the Prime Minister has said that he can see no impediment for them not to get permanent residency. So, as I said, it's not as if they're going to be a strain on the Australian community, the community that they're moving to. This is the party. Look. Happy birthday, dear Tommy. Happy birthday to you. Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Hip hip. Hooray! Thank you. From the room, stop when I say free. Pass the parcel. Pass the parcel. Pass the parcel. Happy birthday, Tommy. So it looks like it was a pretty good birthday party for her first ever one. So you call people names others would find confronting, but within community it's great. Exactly. So anyway, that's some really good news. But as I said, it's her first one, her first free birthday in freedom. So, I just love that story. So on that note, I'm going to love you all and leave you all. As I said, I don't know when I'll be back, but I do have another video to upload. I'll have that to go in the middle of the night, so you can wake up to it in the morning. For all the people on the other side of the world, you'll get it. You can watch it first. Yeah, mate, for the replay crew, thank you for watching. If you've made it this time. Where's she going again? She's still going. She's up again. I just have to have a look. Someone's just shared something, and I'm thinking, oh, she's still going. My whole thing is I show you what she says, you make up your mind. I'm not here to tell you what to think. We had a government that wanted to tell us how to think. I'm not really a fan. I'm my own person. The government's being cruel to refugees. Yeah. Look, the interesting thing that I'm also, it's very interesting. We haven't had the flow. We haven't had the flow of boats that was supposed to have come with the new government coming in. Oh no, it's just. No, there's not an important announcement. No, she hasn't tweeted, so that's all right. That's all right. I thought maybe like there was going to be what? Wait, an impending? No, there's not an important announcement. No, no, it's good. So I actually go on uni break from after this week, so I'm hoping to be on regular again. Yeah, resume normal programming. That is correct. It's probably still a bit early for her yet, so I don't know. But yeah, as I said, thank you all for watching me and and I'll keep you all. I'll keep you all posted. I'll try and find some more cool cases in Australia we can follow. All right. So make sure you hit like and subscribe, and bye for now.